Turn on your kitchen tap. Now imagine nothing comes out. No stream, no trickle, not even a drop. Most people think losing water would be inconvenient. The reality is far more serious, because water is one of those things people never think about until it's gone. You use it constantly. Brushing your teeth, making coffee, washing dishes, cooking dinner, flushing toilets, cleaning your hands. Water quietly supports almost every part of daily life. That's why losing it catches people completely off guard. The first few minutes don't seem that bad. You assume it'll be fixed soon. An hour passes. Then another. Then people start noticing how often they reach for a tap. That's when the real problem begins. And that's why the first item on this list becomes priceless immediately. Bottled water. This sounds obvious, yet most households don't have nearly as much as they think. A few bottles in the fridge, a case in the garage, maybe a couple of spare containers. It feels like plenty, until you start using it. People focus on drinking water, then realize water is needed for far more than drinking. Taking medication, preparing food, making coffee, brushing teeth. The supply disappears faster than expected. That's why bottled water always becomes one of the first things people want. Not because it's exciting, because it's essential. The second item is water containers. This is where people make a major mistake. They think about water, but not where they'll put it. Imagine a friend offers water. Imagine a local distribution point opens. Imagine rainwater collection becomes possible. How do you store it? How do you transport it? Most households don't have many dedicated containers. That's why buckets, water jugs, and storage containers suddenly become incredibly valuable. People don't appreciate containers when water is flowing freely. Once water stops, containers become almost as important as the water itself. The third item is wet wipes. This one surprises people, because wet wipes often feel optional. A convenience product, something you throw into a shopping cart without much thought. Then, water disappears. Suddenly washing becomes difficult. People still need clean hands, clean faces, basic hygiene. Wet wipes bridge the gap. They don't replace running water, but they buy time. And when resources become limited, buying time is valuable. The fourth item is hand sanitizer. Think about how many times you wash your hands every day. Most people have no idea, because the action is automatic. You touch something, you wash your hands. You prepare food, you wash your hands. You use the bathroom, you wash your hands. The routine feels invisible, until water disappears. Then every hand wash becomes a decision. That's when sanitizer becomes useful. It helps maintain hygiene when normal routines become difficult. And the value of that grows every single day water remains unavailable. The fifth item is paper plates and disposable utensils. Nobody gets excited about paper plates. Nobody talks about them. Yet, they solve a huge problem. Dishes. Think about breakfast, lunch, dinner. Every meal creates washing. Without running water, washing becomes more difficult. People suddenly discover how much effort dishwashing requires. Paper products reduce that burden immediately. They're not glamorous, they're practical. And practical solutions often become the most valuable solutions. The sixth item is ready-to-eat food. This is where many people get caught out. Because food preparation often requires water. Pasta needs water. Rice needs water. Many foods need cleaning. Many foods need cooking. Ready-to-eat foods skip those requirements. Peanut butter, crackers, protein bars, canned foods, foods that work immediately. Those foods suddenly become far more attractive when every liter of water matters, and we're only halfway through the list. Because the next 6 items solve problems most people don't even think about until they're already facing them. The 7th item is a bucket. This sounds almost ridiculous. Until you need one. A bucket solves dozens of problems: transporting water, storing water, cleaning, basic sanitation, emergency toilet solutions. People often think buckets are old-fashioned. Then they lose running water and discover just how useful a simple container can be. A bucket isn't exciting. That's exactly why people overlook it. Yet when normal systems stop working, simple tools suddenly become incredibly important. The 8th item is cleaning supplies. People assume water outages are only about drinking. They're not. Life continues. Surfaces get dirty. Spills happen. Trash accumulates. Cleaning doesn't stop mattering because water stopped flowing. If anything, it becomes more important. Disinfectant wipes, cleaning sprays, trash bags, paper towels. All of these items suddenly become much more valuable because maintaining a clean environment helps prevent small problems from becoming larger problems. The ninth item is a water filter. Now this depends on your situation, not everyone needs one, but the moment people start thinking about alternative water sources, filtration enters the conversation. A filter provides options, and options matter. A stream, collected rainwater, stored water. Different sources become more useful when filtration is available. Again, this isn't about fear, it's about flexibility. The more options people have, the less pressure they feel, and pressure drives bad decisions. The 10th item is a backup cooking method. Most people don't realize how closely food and water are connected. Then they try preparing meals without either. A backup cooking method expands possibilities. It doesn't have to be complicated, it simply provides another option. And options become priceless when the normal way of doing things disappears. The 11th item is information. People always want answers. How long will the outage last? What caused it? When will service return? Where can water be collected? Without information, people start guessing, and guessing creates stress. That's why radios and reliable updates become valuable. Information doesn't create water, but it helps people make better decisions about the water they have. The 12th item isn't something you buy, it's a plan. And it may be the most important thing on this list, because supplies without a plan create confusion. How much water is available? How quickly is it being used? What happens tomorrow? What happens in 3 days? People who seem prepared aren't always better supplied. Often they've simply thought ahead. That gives them a huge advantage. Now step back and look at everything we've discussed. Water, containers, wet wipes, sanitizer, paper plates, ready-to-eat food, buckets, cleaning supplies, water filters, cooking options, information, a plan. Notice something? None of these items are particularly expensive. Most are ordinary. Most are sitting in stores right now. Most are easy to ignore. That's exactly why they matter. People assume important things look important. They don't. The most valuable item during a water outage might be a 5-pound bucket, or a pack of wet wipes, or a stack of paper plates. Value changes when circumstances change. That's the lesson. Water outages reveal dependencies, not weaknesses. Dependencies. They show people what daily life actually relies on. Most households have never seriously considered how often they use water, because they never needed to. Water was always there. Turn the tap, problem solved. Then suddenly the tap doesn't work. And priorities change fast. The things that mattered yesterday stop mattering. The things that seemed unimportant become essential. That's why experienced people focus on practical solutions, not dramatic solutions, practical ones. Small improvements create big advantages. A few containers, a little stored water, basic hygiene supplies, simple planning. None of these things feel urgent when water is flowing normally. But when water stops, they're often the difference between feeling overwhelmed and feeling prepared. And that's what this topic is really about. Not stockpiling, not panic, not extreme preparation. Awareness. Understanding which items quietly support daily life. Understanding which items become valuable when systems stop working normally. Because when water stops, people don't suddenly wish they owned complicated equipment. They wish they had the simple things they overlooked. The bucket, the wipes, the sanitizer, the containers, the bottled water, the plan. Those are the items that become priceless, not because they're rare, because they're useful, and usefulness becomes incredibly valuable the moment the tap runs dry.